You ever have one of those neighbors who think your stuff automatically belongs to them? Well, let me tell you about the day my HOA, Karen, decided she had the right to use my Tesla charger, and how her entitlement literally fried her car into a smoking heap of metal. It started on an ordinary Tuesday evening. I had just gotten home from work, plugged in my Tesla, and was looking forward to dinner. That's when Karen came stomping down the sidewalk, her Lexus parked half crooked on the street like it owned the place. She didn't even bother with a greeting. Instead, she pointed right at my garage and said, "You need to let me use your charger. My car's almost dead." I was stunned, not just because of the tone, but because my charger isn't some communal gas pump. It's wired directly into my house. It's mine. I calmly explained, "Karen, this isn't a public charger. It's for my Tesla. It won't even work on your Lexus." But that logic didn't matter. Karen puffed herself up, like she was the president of the neighborhood, and barked back, "I pay HOA dues just like you, so that charger belongs to all of us. Don't be selfish." Now, let me pause here. The HOA barely manages the pool, and they sure as heck didn't install my charger. I paid for that setup out of pocket, had it professionally wired, and it was locked when not in use. Yet, here was Karen, insisting she had the right to it. I told her no, firmly but politely. That's when she dropped the line every nightmare neighbor seems to have memorized. "I'll be reporting you to the HOA board. You'll regret this." Then she stormed off. I thought that was the end of it. I really did. But later that night, while I was inside watching TV, I heard a strange click from the garage. At first, I brushed it off, but then came a loud electrical pop, followed by the shrill beep of my surge protector tripping. My stomach dropped. I ran out to the garage, and what I saw nearly made me laugh and scream at the same time. Karen's Lexus, yes, she had actually pulled it halfway into my driveway, was hooked up to my charger with some sketchy adapter she must have bought online. Sparks were flying from the connection, smoke curling out from under her hood like a bad magic trick. Her entitlement hadn't just crossed a line. It had cooked her car. The sight of Karen's Lexus sizzling in my driveway was something straight out of a comedy horror movie. I yanked the main breaker to stop the power surge, and the smoke finally started to settle. Karen came running out from behind the hedge where she'd been hiding, waving her arms like I had just sabotaged her car. "This is your fault!" she screeched, pointing at me with shaking hands. "You should have warned me your charger wasn't compatible." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I told her, calm but furious, "Karen, I did warn you. You broke into my garage, trespassed on my property, and tried to use something that isn't yours. What did you think was going to happen?" Of course, she wasn't about to take responsibility. She pulled out her phone right there and called the HOA president, a man named Paul, who I'm convinced only got the job because no one else wanted it. Within 15 minutes, he pulled up in his little golf cart, clipboard in hand, acting like he was about to settle a Supreme Court case. Karen immediately launched into her tirade, telling Paul I had denied her the use of a neighborhood amenity and that my charger had malfunctioned and destroyed her Lexus. She demanded that the HOA force me to pay for the damages. Paul gave me this look, the kind that said, "Please tell me she's exaggerating." So, I walked him into the garage and showed him everything. The melted adapter Karen had jammed into my charger, the scorch marks, the locked breaker box she had clearly tampered with to get it open. His jaw dropped. "Karen," Paul said slowly, "this isn't an HOA issue. This is, well, honestly, this is vandalism." Karen's face went red. "Vandalism? He's the one who rigged his charger to blow up my car. That's a safety hazard." The whole neighborhood could have been in danger. At this point, I couldn't stop laughing. The irony was just too much. But Paul, to his credit, shut her down. He told her, in no uncertain terms, that the HOA had no authority over personal property like my charger, and that if she'd tampered with it, she could be held liable for damages, not me. That was when Karen's shriek turned into a whimper. She realized she wasn't just losing her argument. She was staring at a repair bill for a fried Lexus that insurance probably wouldn't cover. because it was caused by her own negligence. And let's just say, the fallout from that moment sent shockwaves through the neighborhood. And if you enjoyed watching Karen fry her own Lexus, then you're going to love the next crazy HOA story I've got coming up. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop a like if this made you laugh, and share your thoughts down in the comments. I always read them. And who knows, your story might be the next one I tell.